All right, let's just get into it. This is the second time I have to do this video. The first time the video got dicked up. So I am going to attempt to make this fucking video again. This is on my Springfield Prodigy, an update on everything that I have done. Okay, so we're going to start with slide parts. And then we're going to go into other things before we do anything. First off is the spring kit. I have the factory spring and the Wilson Combat spring in here. You could tell the difference because the Wilson Combat spring's a little longer. So the kit comes with, that's going to bother me. Fucking OCD bullshit. Anyways, spring recoil commander, 20 pound. I didn't use it because I'm going with something else. We'll get into that in a minute. Extra power firing pin spring, used it. Recoil reduced power hammer spring, 18 pound, used it. Mag catch spring, used it. Sear spring, used it. And the plunger tube spring, used it. This kit is the 316C Complete Spring Kit Commander from Wilson Combat. Throw it in the Wilson Combat box. Firing pin. Wilson Combat 416-38. Firing pin 38 Super 9mm bulletproof. Changed it. These are all MIM parts I replaced. So I changed Wilson Combat 788B-9 extractor, 70 series, 38 Super 9mm bulletproof XS blued. The reason I changed that, for the simple fact it was a MIM part, but we're going to get into this real quick. Again. Now, on the screws for the slide and the grip module, you're going to have to shave them down. One of the reasons you have to shave down the plate, if it hits it, but you have to take it apart to this point to figure out if it does hit it, okay? So if you look right there, there is where the screw bottomed out on the extractor. So, yeah. Let's see if I can get a light on it. Maybe it'll show. Yeah, right there. If you see it. A little bit. Right in there. Come on, dude. Get with it. I'm trying to hurry up and make this video. I don't want it to be long like the last time. Right there where the shiny spot is. That's where the screw bottomed out for the optic, or for the for the sight plate and the optic plate. So, yeah, you have to take your extractor out to see if that screw hits. If it does, you got to shave it down. I don't know if it causes any ejection problems or what, but I changed it out because it's a MIM part. Also on the slide, what I did was, because of the slide hanging up on the disconnector, so what I did was, if you could see, I kind of put a bevel right there and polished this up, and I did some on the breech face, but yeah, I kind of rounded that edge out a little bit to where it doesn't hang up. You can see where I polished it. I'm booking through this, by the way. Now we're going to move to frame parts. So I also ordered the EGW Part number is 10494. Springfield Prodigy 4¼ guide rod kit. So this replaces your guide rod spring, and your guide rod plug. Throw that in the Wilson Combat box. I also changed out the slide release 38 Super 9mm bulletproof blued for Wilson Combat one. And what I did there, if you could see, it did stick out. And what I did was, where I put it in the pistol, and where because this is made for a 1911 single stack, not a double stack. So as it stuck out right there, I took a Dremeled it down till it fit in. So pretty much I had to take off that amount, the thickness of the actual grip. So set that there. So I don't know if you could see it. Yep. So I kind of smoothed that out, put a little angle on that so it wasn't sharp, and then rounded this off so it wasn't so sharp. But yeah, I had to smooth that whole thing out. Wilson Combat part. It works. So on the frame, Wilson Combat 314 Deluxe Bulletproof Sear. Changed out, missed the box. Changed out the MIM parts. 337B Hammer Ultra Light Skeletonized Bulletproof Wilson Combat. 573 Disconnector Bulletproof Wilson Combat. There we go. Now we're focusing. Change that out. So I'm going to say 90%, 95% of the MIM parts I changed out with Wilson Combat parts. Now, so I went with the EGW guide rod because I want this to be a duty weapon. So I also went through, because I didn't get this in the other video, I polished up the feed ramp right in here, right in here, and right in here, and in the breech of the barrel. I polished all that up. And a little bit down in here and on the sides I polished it. Kind of make it smooth. Okay, where are we at here? So, I mentioned this in a video before about how the SRO, I went with the RMR on the Prodigy because the SRO, I don't know if you could see, but right here, the SRO hangs over your breech a little bit. So if you look at it, I'm going to hold both slides, kind of hopefully get them even. I hate doing this because see how much more that SRO hangs over that breech. Now I've seen some videos where guys thought, because they were getting stovepipes, that it was the actual gun. But in reality, what was happening was, and they noticed this when they did it in slow motion, went back, looked at their video, that when the casing would eject, it would bounce off the SRO, come out, bounce off, and flip back into, once in a blue moon, flip back into the breech, giving them a stovepipe. So what I ended up doing is putting the SRO on my Glock 19 and running the Trigicon dual luminant RMR on my Prodigy. And I'm very happy with that setup right there. So I'm going to put my Glock back together real quick. So, like I said in other videos, this is all Zaffery Precision internals, stainless steel guide rod. Oh, actually, I have the stainless steel guide rod in my factory slide. Yeah. So this is a factory Glock guide rod. I don't want to mislead. So the Radiant Afterburner Ramjet Microcomp, which is California legal because it's not threaded. What it is, it has a little trench cut into the barrel right there. So you don't have to time it. You don't have to put Loctite on it. You don't have to have set screws. And I had to modify this for the Swanson slide. I was very disappointed in that, where I had to do that because, you know, the shit ain't cheap. So anyways, slide the micro comp on. Take your wedge screw. Put it in the gun or in the hole. Run this screw back in. Give it. There we go. It's tight. No Loctite, no nothing. There you go. Clean fit, flush. Awesome. So, back to the Prodigy. What else did I have to do? So you couldn't see it before, but if you ever notice, if you haven't done it, right there's a scuff mark. Oh, you can see it a little bit with that lighting. Okay, it's on both sides of the mags. Yeah, right there. So what that's from is, like I said, I'm trying to rush through this because this is the second time I've done this fucking video. And the other time it was 29 minutes. So it's from these screws. They're too long. So what you have to do is, once you take your grip module off, take out those, your I guess the screw mount, take those out when you take your grip module off, run your screws back in, file or Dremel down the screws. I did it on both sides. And once you get them flush, you put your screws and those back in, and no touchy. Okay, so I got the slide, did that. So what you get with this overpriced gun that I bought, which I'm relatively irritated with because I spent a lot of money on it and the price I paid for this gun, I could have bought me a Beretta 92G LTT Elite with the Langdon Tactical trigger job, night sights. So with this gun, you get 2 mags, one 17 round, one 20. So I used, when I registered it, Springfield sent me a discount code. So I used that discount code to pick up another 20 round mag. Then I went to Gun Mag Warehouse and picked up 2 Checkmate mags for $50 a piece. And I think now they're $10 difference. So yeah, that's the original plate that comes with the gun. So we'll reassemble this pistol. So put that in, slide this in, flip that around, push that in. Take your slide stop and bring that forward a tick, pop that back in, bring that back, and take this tiny little paper clip thickness of a tool you get with it, put it in the bag. There you go. Now, so everything works. So yeah, so I have a lot of money invested in this. So you don't get new fiber optic pieces. So mine decided to fall out today when I test fired the pistol because I put the new guide rod in. Yeah, so mine wanted to fall out. And the reason I went with the EGW guide rod kit is because of this plug. It fills in that hole. If you look at your 5-inch, 4 1/4 inch, with the normal plug and your barrel, you have that gap right there. So because I want to use this as a duty weapon, I wanted to fill in that gap. That's why I went with the EGW, not because you have to get their guide rod because the plug is machined to their guide rod. You can't use your factory guide rod, which is whatever. It is what it is on that. So the min parts I have left, because I changed out the plug, spring, yeah, that. Okay, so the safety is still MIM. I'm happy with it for now. The mag release, I looked at it, didn't look, it's just a mag release. The trigger and the mainspring housing. The mainspring housing is plastic. I want to upgrade that to a metal one. What I also did to this, because this was digging into my palm, I took and rounded out that edge a little bit, knocked down that sharpness to where it's not cutting into my hand. So what I did was, when I bought it, it comes with the Dr. Footprint plate, which is made for the Dragonfly Hex, which is stupid. It should come with the Armory footprint plate because that's what most people buy for their optics. Hollow Sun, Armors, everything else that uses the Dr. Footprint. So what I ended up doing is I shopped around, went on Amazon, and I found a Zulisi owl red dot. Well, this one's green. And I used this one for about about a month. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up. It did before. There it is. Has a nice green dot, auto shut off, shake awake. Great optic. I used it. I wanted to use the gun until I got this plate. This plate's $130. The gun's $1,500. You know, you don't get extra fiber optic tubes. You only get 2 mags. I could bitch about this gun all day long. A guy at one of the local gun stores that I go to, he used to have the 5-inch. He ended up selling it. Well, he ended up selling it to a guy that runs competition. He said, because I showed him mine, and he said that the guy has, like, between him and the guy that bought it, has something like 15,000 rounds through it now because the guy shoots competition. So on these Checkmate mags, I'll do this real quick. They lock up. Now, if you're running a mag well, they stick out just enough for that mag well. So yeah, for the amount of money you're paying for this pistol, you're getting 2 mags, and you're getting the Allen wrench for the trigger, which also works right here on the front half. of the grip module and for your guide rod. So by using MIM parts, they're saying that's how they made the gun cheaper. But you have TIOS, Grisant, Bull Armory, probably a couple other companies out there that make 1911 double stacks for $700-800 fucking dollars. And they're probably, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, they're probably using machined parts. Whereas they said using MIM parts, which is metal injected, molded, to make the gun cheaper. But yet other companies are making their guns cheaper. So don't get it. But like I said, I could have bought me a Beretta and been happy about it. I used to have one. I sold it. And every day I regret it. That gun was just phenomenally fast. It was like glass. I'm upset about it. Just thinking about it. So yeah, so with everything I did, I'm just under, including buying extra shit. I think just under $3,000. You know, changing parts. I bought the SRO for this, couldn't use it, so I ended up having to use that and go with a, you know, my Armory dual luminant, which is I think $200 cheaper, which I'm happy with it. I guess, I don't know. In reality, I should have just left this optic on it and been done. So, but it's a good backup. So if this one takes a shit, I have that one. And so I got the TRL 1HL on there, that on there. Like I said, you know, that's my update on my Prodigy. If you're into tinkering with 1911s, this is like tinkering with a 1911. The only difference is the grip module. Everything else was 70 model 1911 parts. So that's another thing you got to look at. Is your 1911 double stack, is it based on the 70s model or the 80s model? The 80s model has a firing pin block in it, so which requires a couple more parts inside the frame. But this is based on a 70s model, and which doesn't have that. And what I mean by 80s model, it'll have this. It'll have a firing pin block, but it'll be more towards the rear. And then my EDC, which is literally my EDC over all the pistols I have. I love this gun. This beautiful piece of German engineering. My USP 9mm with light lem and a short reset. Gray guns. Trijicon HD sights. This is what I compare all my guns to. Does it run like my HK? Does it run like my HK? Can it eat this like my HK? So yeah. So that is my Prodigy. Everything I did to it, the updates, the parts, the part numbers. So hit like, comments below, thumbs up or thumbs down. Let me know in your comments about what you think. If I should have just left it alone or have any questions about whatever else I did to it, leave them in the comments below. Have a good night.